Tonight they step off the plane as refugees, but they walk out of this terminal as permanent residents of Canada. But it's not just about receiving them tonight. It's about the hard work we're all going to do in the coming weeks, months, and indeed years.
Breaking this morning, the latest look at the Canadian economy.
Canada's smaller and mid-sized cities are still seeing home prices rise.
Why are we bringing in so many people if we know for a fact we don't have housing for them?
For me, it's okay. I feel so happy because I get the chance here.
A nice government, they help us so much.
Those immigrants, they take our job.
They'll subdivide the house and they'll move 7 or 8 people in, putting working people like myself right out of the market.
After 9 years, Justin Trudeau's approval rating has plummeted.
Between addressing labor needs and maintaining population growth, we didn't get the balance quite right. Today, we're announcing that we will reduce the number of immigrants we bring in, which will result in a pause in the population growth over the next 2 years.
We set off to understand how Canadians feel about immigration and why they think it's happening. Cities across Ontario have the same demographic trend: declining white populations, growing minority populations. Now, we are not saying that this is a bad thing. However, it did make us wonder why it was happening and how people felt about it. And in short, people were divided.
You're in the city with the greatest, probably the most multicultural city in the world. We have the most fantastic food in the world. And it's not because of a whole bunch of white guys like me. It's because we brought in a whole bunch of people from around the world, and they're making it wonderful.
You get a lot of bad people coming here that don't give a shit about our city. It's our city. You don't like it, you want to destroy something, stay where you are. We're just overrun with every other culture out there.
The culture has changed. Now, people don't want to do certain jobs. How do you get the jobs done? You've got to bring people in. If you do it right, we don't mind at all. We like people to come over.
They're very dirty people. Never even cover the window. They walk naked, so it's kind of embarrassing. But they start shooting fireworks, buddy, and they celebrate some god anyway. So
The truth is, we need bodies. In the case of the healthcare profession, we need more nurses, doctors, and various other kinds of skills. You two gentlemen and myself, being men of non-color, are the minority.
Defenders of the immigration policies would note that Canada has one of the world's lowest birth rates, just higher than Japan.
Have you heard of anything, the Century Initiative?
I don't think so.
Do you guys know anything about the Century Initiative?
By the 21st century, or the
100 million people by 2100.
Yeah, in Canada.
This building houses the headquarters of the Century Initiative. So back in 2011, Dominique Barton, the head of McKinsey, co-founded this think tank with the goal of tripling Canada's population from 34 million to 100 million by 2100. Now, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau then took him, put him in charge of his advisory council on economic growth, and the government adopted those immigration policies, leading to a massive surge in immigration.
It's not clear whether Trudeau took the Century Initiative's policies on purpose or by coincidence. However, Canada did enact the policy in 2015, saying that unprecedented levels of immigration were needed to sustain economic growth, given that Canada had one of the world's lowest birth rates. But what do these policies look like on the ground? It depends on where you go.
Growing has always been a central theme in the history of Brampton, Ontario, whether it's in physical size and population or in, well, flowers.
This used to be called the Flower Town. I don't know what it's called now.
And it's not called Brown Town for nothing.
In Brampton, students and workers came and brought their families, turning it into a majority Indian metropolis.
Well, we're now a minority and we never were before, so that's kind of a tough pill to swallow.
They get off the plane, they go to the hospitals, bring their parents. People have never paid a nickel's tax in this country in their lives.
A lot of illegal colleges came up.
Illegal colleges, so they would essentially, someone would secure a student visa, come here to study, but it wasn't really studying.
I know when we go visit back home, there were boards after boards that we will get immigration to Canada, we will get immigration to Canada. It was a lot of people who opened up these fake immigration offices. So they said, okay, we'll make you fake papers. And people knowingly paid them.
Elsewhere in Ontario, there are hundreds of thousands of temporary foreign workers.
Down in the States, you guys had slavery. Up in Canada, we have a new form of slavery. It's called the Temporary Foreign Worker Program.
Canada's temporary foreign worker programs are the subject of a scathing report from the United Nations. Programs are, quote, a breeding ground for modern forms of slavery.
We depend on foreign labor because we have a chronically short local workforce here. It's hard to maintain that if you don't have restaurants to go to, gas stations, taxi services.
The temporary foreign worker program lets companies who say they can't find local labor bring people from overseas.
Tim Hortons, Walmart, McDonald's, they would rather bring in a temporary foreign worker, get half the wage from the government. I don't know how much you know about history. If you understand how Adolf Hitler came to power, how he came to manipulate the German people, how he was able to use the Jews as a scapegoat, it would be the exact same thing that's happening with immigration right now. They're using the same excuse.
Every Canadian walks into a McDonald's or a burrito place and is inevitably served by a predominantly non-white population. It doesn't have any impact on the quality of the service or the food. There might be people that find it offensive, but if we got rid of all those people, who's going to do that work?
The quality food, like the pizzeria there. I don't have nothing against the Indian people. All Indian working there. The dough is so old, and I was sitting there, was a family there. They left all the pizza on the table, and they walked away. I have a difficulty when I go to McDonald's. They don't speak English. I got to repeat myself 10 times to get a cup of coffee. I say, I want the coffee small, black with 2 cream and 2 sugar on the side. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Give me the other girl. She speaks more English.
Canada has also taken in hundreds of thousands of asylum seekers and resettled more refugees than any other country since 2018. Refugees and some Canadians are proud or grateful for this, while many others are resentful.
Loans, they get grants and everything.
And half the time they even get a fucking car.
Benefit actually provides like income for my family, benefits to like provide for like making sure my family stays stable in like tough times.
They immigrating, the government give them hotels and place to stay. Are you joking right now? What happened with immigration in the 80s when we came? We got to work. Nobody cares. But these people don't work.
A nice government in how they help us so much. They give us hotel room for free and they pay us some money to buy some snack, food, some lunch. Yeah, they help us very much.
You have politicians who have put a lot of these immigrants up in the motels at taxpayers' expense. We've had it. There's Canadians that don't have a job. You can't afford rent.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because we're Canada. We're peace treaty fucking bullshit.
We're too nice.
Everyone else gets treated better than the Canadians.
While you're watching this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want more like this. My friends and I started this a few years ago because we did not trust the mainstream news companies and even a lot of alternative news creators to go out and capture the world without bias or fear. A lot of them have agendas either on the right or on the left. We just want to know the truth and want to ask the questions that you all have. If you want those questions answered, if you want more of this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, in many cities, we saw immigrants living side by side with people who were homeless or addicted to drugs. They stood in very stark contrast to one another.
I see around here the homeless, I feel sad, but for me, I lost my country. We have some war up there. The people are suffering, dying, but the people will never give up, will never.
I came here as a student. I came here from India.
So then why did you decide to come to Canada?
For better future, actually. In India, we really had less job opportunities. For example, I was a registered nurse in India. So I got better opportunities here as a nurse.
I feel like Canada is really a paradise. Paradise on earth. I love Canada. It's absolutely safe city. Every city is safe city.
While a lot of people acknowledge that immigrants tend to contribute a lot to society, people also said immigration may have worsened homelessness because so many people came who didn't have housing.
Once the government started like the heavy immigration where we were bringing in like 500,000 people a month and shit, that's kind of when housing went up and job market crashed.
In recent years, Canada has built about 1 new housing unit for every 4 immigrants that have arrived in the country.
But there's no question that the rate of immigration into Canada, into the big cities, has had an impact on housing availability. No question. And I don't think we've handled it well.
You have these people that will come in, rent out a nice little house like this or this house over here that just sold, and they'll subdivide the house and they'll move 7 or 8 people in, putting working people like myself right out of the market.
For example, my neighbor was 14 people living in this place. So the garbage and mess, you couldn't believe it. And they sleep in the top. One room, you're looking 4 or 5 people sleep in the top. And this one too, this house was for sale. They couldn't sell it because there's like 10, 15 people living in the basement.
We also heard people say that immigration has changed Canada's foreign policy, including by making it more pro-Palestine and less pro-Israel.
The values of community, of generosity, these are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
What do you think the fate will be of Israel?
Oh, Israel is not gonna exist in 5 years. So when the people in Gaza got decimated. The only people that stood for them are the Shias.
Hezbollah,
the Houthis, the PMF in Iraq.
The Houthis, Iran, I'm from the U.S., right? Like a lot of people in the U.S. think all these terrorist groups, the whole thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't think they're terrorists whatsoever. These groups are just resistance groups, and they just resist whatever oppression that they were dealing with.
Canada just announced they're going to recognize Palestinian state.
Well, yes, and that's a big problem. It's a big problem for me. I'm talking personally, and as a Jewish Canadian and a proud Zionist, this is very, very, very difficult. I tell you right now that Prime Minister Carney does not score high in my books with his anti-Semitism.
Immigration has also made Canada a center of Sikh separatism, what's known as the Khalistan movement, and that has put India and Canada into a diplomatic crisis.
Dozens gathered outside the Consulate General of India in Vancouver to mark the 2-year anniversary of the death of Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. The pro-Khalistan activist was gunned down outside the Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara in Surrey in 2023. The killing fueled ongoing tensions between Canada and India. At the time, former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused India's government of being involved in the death, something Indian officials deny.
It's worth noting that Canada is like the US and not Europe. What I mean by that is the country has been built on immigration for centuries.
My dad was here before us.
So my grandfather came in the 70s.
We had immigrants since the 30s. They simulated with everybody, paid taxes, worked hard.
Now that being said, what's happened in recent years has been an explosion of immigration unparalleled by anything before this. The government has said that immigration was intended to grow the economy and ensure that there were people to perform vital services.
Newfoundland has had a history for, I think, 30 or 40 years of bringing in foreign doctors into the communities that are relatively isolated. They need more people, so he or she finds somebody from their community in South Asia to come in and help. Here we are now, 30 or 40 years later, and these people have families, they're a part of the community. I don't know how you complain about that.
It's worth noting that the economy has grown with immigration. Now that being said, since 2022, the GDP per capita has actually gone down. A lot of people believe immigration has made even the economy worse.
Economy-wise around here, they're jobs?
No. After letting all the immigrants in, fuck no. Fuck no.
They sell amongst themselves, they live amongst themselves, they pay no taxes, and they abuse every system this beautiful country has to offer.
So instead of most of us assimilating and integrating, because the economy couldn't siphon me in, I had to build my own little world, right? Where I open a shop, where I service clients that I know, speak their language, we live by our own rules. They don't learn, I don't learn. I will service them how I know, how I've serviced back home.
If they run the driving schools, they run the airports, they run the grocery stores, they're in position of a lot of government jobs. As soon as they come in, you could buy your citizenship out here for like dirt cheap, like $2,000. You could buy your license out here for $800 Canadian.
You serious?
I'm dead serious.
They come to Canada, they connect with their native community first, and that's how they find each other employment and help each other. So I think it's perfectly natural.
Even though we tell them life is not the same anymore, that things are not the same anymore, the country itself is in recession, we are struggling ourselves. They don't listen, they think, this is the land of opportunity, we just want to get here with a hook or crook.
Many immigration critics told us that they think this was a concerted effort to cement Liberal Party rule.
It's the Liberal Party that brought them in. That's where their loyalties lie.
They saturate the government, they get elected by their own kind, and once they get in, they get what they want.
Stupid government said if Canadians won't vote for me, I'll bring people into this country that will. So he brought a whole bunch of immigrants in. You got the Muslim votes, the immigrants he brought in, he won the election.
The combination of students, foreign workers, temporary workers, high-skilled workers, and families has totally changed the demographics of the country. There was enough anger about these policies that Justin Trudeau had to resign, and the government said it would curb immigration in the years ahead.
Justin Trudeau has announced he's stepping down as the Prime Minister of Canada and as the leader of his party.
When it comes to Canada's permanent immigration targets, I'm here to announce and confirm that the current plan reduces next year's projections from 500,000 permanent residents to 395,000.
But will any of that matter? Or is Canada already bound to have 100 million people by the end of the century? Once again, on that question, Canada is divided.
By the 21st century, or the
100 million people by 2100.
in Canada.
Yeah.
So that's what they're claiming.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's retarded, it's stupid. You cannot do it. We don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the services, we don't have the jobs, and the cost of living, nobody can afford it. So you're going to have mass homelessness. So good luck with that.
There is just no way that Canada's population at the end of this century is not going to be 100 million. We are going to see global northbound migration like we can't even imagine. The Syrian refugee crisis that we experienced several years ago was driven largely by climate change. When people are desperate, there is no immigration law or border protection service that is going to stop the movement of people if they're desperate. Canada's population is going to be 100 million in let's say 75 years. How do we get around it? What are we going to do? Are we going to shoot people trying to cross the border? I don't think so. I hope not. I think it's unavoidable. And parts of the U.S. are going to be increasingly difficult to inhabit as weather and floods and fires continue to increase.
In the next edition of RocaNews Canada, we asked 100 Canadians what they think about Donald Trump. Subscribe so you don't miss it.
Blacks for Trump, baby. We're all about that guy. Let's go!
Yeah, and that guy's an immigrant.